Hello and welcome to Mindscast 445. I'm Cindy Rader. The purpose of this video is to show how to access a database from a PHP page, and more importantly, how to use a prepared statement. This is the SQL file we'll use to create the table for our prepared statements. We first select a database. We then drop the table if it exists, and in this example we're going to use a simple plants table. We create the table, which includes an auto-increment primary key, a plant name and color, which are both strings, quantity, which is an int, price is a float. We do this primarily so we can show the different data types with our prepared statement, and then I insert two plants into the table. So in a prior video, Matt showed you how to use phpMyAdmin. In this video, we're going to use the MySQL command line. I first show that the directory I am in includes the plants.sql file. And then we get into the MySQL command line by typing the command mysql-u, and my username -p means a password is required. And now I'm at the command line interface. To load the SQL file, I simply use the command source plants.sql, and that's changed the database, and we can see that the query was executed. So I'm going to use the database, I'm going to show the tables, and there is the plants table. And if I select star from plants, we see two entries that we made in our plants.sql file. So we want to show how to connect this to PHP, and here's our simple input form. We basically have a flower shop with a form. Notice the action is going to be add plant. We'll look at that in just a minute. And then we have simple prompts for the different fields within our database. So this is the add plant PHP file. Notice we first extract the fields from the form. I then connect to the database. I have previously set up the username, password, and database. And of course we want to include sufficient error checking in here, so our first thing is to make sure that we have been able to successfully connect to the database. So this is where we set up the prepared statement. Here's our query. We're going to insert into the plants table. I've listed the 4 field names with, notice we have question marks now for the 4 fields. Those will get bound in just a minute. Then we prepare the statement, and at this point it does some error handling to make sure that, for instance, the field names are correct. And so we again want to check and make sure that we did not have any issues here. If so, we want to fail at this point. Otherwise, we'll fail during the execute, and it's much harder to debug. The next step is to actually bind the parameters. And notice here I've got the key, S is string, I is integer, D is double, B is blob. And in our query, what we have is name, color, which are strings, quantity is an integer, and price is a double. So we've got SSID. And again, there can be issues with this binding in case maybe the data types don't match, so we again want to do a little bit of error handling. So finally we execute the statement, and if it's successful, we simply print out a message that says plant save. Otherwise, again, we've got some error handling where we print out the error message. And finally, of course, we want to close this statement that we've prepared. So now let's try to run this. I've already filled in the fields with one of my favorite plants, catmint, and if I hit submit, it does say plant saved. So now let's see if we really did add a new plant to the database. I've already logged into MySQL, used the correct database, and I can do select star from plants, and there's our catmint. That concludes this Mindscast 445. Thank you for watching.